The Battle of Kone, also known as the Second Battle of Hakata Bay, marked the Yuan dynasty of China's second attempt to invade Japan, following their unsuccessful endeavor at the Battle of Bunai 7 years prior. This engagement took place in the summer of 1281. The Yuan forces launched an invasion with two significant armies, but their efforts were hindered by a powerful storm that sank a considerable portion of their fleets. Japanese defenders capitalized on this opportune natural event to repel the invaders who managed to reach the shore. The storm that aided the Japanese was later referred to as the kamikaze, which translates to divine wind in English. This term was later used during World War II to describe pilots who carried out aerial suicide attacks. Following the Yuan dynasty's initial naval invasion that ended in failure, the Japanese took extensive defensive measures. They constructed multiple fortifications along the coastline and maintained their armies in a state of preparedness to thwart any potential future attacks. In the early months of 1280, Kublai Khan, the ruler of the Yuan dynasty, devised plans for a new invasion of Japan. He commanded his shipbuilders to reconstruct the entire fleet within a year. Due to the tight timeline, a significant portion of the ships were hastily assembled, many of which were flat-bottomed riverboats requisitioned by the emperor. This hasty construction would have far-reaching consequences for the impending invasion. By June 1281, the Yuan dynasty had amassed a formidable fleet of 900 ships in Korea, constituting the Eastern Route Army. This force included 17,000 sailors and transported 10,000 Korean soldiers, along with 15,000 Mongol and Chinese troops. Simultaneously, the Southern Route Army, numbering around 100,000 soldiers and accompanied by 3,500 ships, was assembled just south of China's Yangtze River. The Yuan forces quickly captured Iki and Tsushima Islands, strategically positioning themselves for the upcoming invasion. On June 23, the Eastern Route Army reached Hakata Bay. Despite the absence of the larger southern force, they decided to proceed with the invasion. This time, they landed slightly north and east of their 1,274 landing point, bypassing Japanese defenses. However, the samurai reacted swiftly, launching waves of defenders to repel the invaders and prevent them from establishing a foothold. Under the cover of night, small groups of samurai employed small boats to infiltrate the Yuan fleet in the bay. These brave samurai engaged in surprise attacks, boarding enemy ships, inflicting casualties, and then retreating before dawn. This hit-and-run tactic disrupted the Yuan forces and forced them to retreat to Tsushima while awaiting reinforcement from the Southern Route Army. Nevertheless, the close-quarters combat in the hot weather resulted in the deaths of around 3,000 men. The Yuan forces failed to secure a beachhead. The first ships of the Southern Route Army arrived on July 16, and by August 12, both fleets were prepared to launch a coordinated attack on Japan. However, on August 15, a powerful tempest struck the Tsushima Straits and raged for 2 days. This severe storm inflicted significant damage on the Yuan fleet, destroying a vast majority of their ships. Contemporary Japanese accounts suggest that over 4,000 ships were lost, leading to the death of around 80% of the Yuan soldiers either through drowning or at the hands of samurai on the shores. The scale of the shipwrecks was so extensive that wreckage formed a land bridge between distant points, highlighting the magnitude of the disaster. In early June, the Mongolian army landed on Tsushima Island, intending to invade Japan. They encountered fierce resistance from the Japanese defenders. Despite their efforts, the Mongolians faced strong opposition and eventually decided to withdraw from the island. Around June 23, the Mongolians attempted a landing on Shika Island but encountered difficulties in making significant progress. By June 24, they managed to gain control over much of the island. However, on the morning of June 25, the Japanese army divided into two groups and launched a counterattack along Umi no Nakamichi. The Japanese forces suffered losses but managed to defeat key Mongolian commanders, including Hongdig and Jiang Cheng. The Mongolian army was repelled, and they retreated to Iki Island. On July 16, a Japanese army consisting of about 10,000 soldiers from clans like Matsura, Yuzoji, and Takagi launched a comprehensive attack on Iki Island. By July 18, Yuzoji Ikkyo led a successful landing on Setora Beach and defeated the Mongolian forces. The Mongolian army abandoned Iki Island and withdrew to Hirodo Island. Taking place on August 20th, this battle saw Takezaki Suenaga leading an attack that resulted in the complete destruction of the Mongolian navy. After this engagement, many Mongol commanders managed to escape to their homeland. On August 22nd, a situation arose where about 100,000 Mongol soldiers remained without their commanders. Recognizing this vulnerability, the Japanese forces launched an attack. Leaders such as Togo Karikaka, Togo Kurito, Fujiwara no Tsukikado, and Shimazu Nagahisa led the charge, decisively defeating the remaining Mongolian army. The Japanese captured 20,000 to 30,000 prisoners during this battle, solidifying their victory. While Kublai Khan initially prepared for a third invasion, other events in Southeast and Central Asia diverted his attention, and the Mongols did not make another attempt at invading Japan. The Kone campaign ended with Japan successfully defending itself against the Mongol invasions.